steps. I always think that's interesting. Good morning on you. It's a 7:37. Mayor Jesse Allig in the KUAM News Link Zoom room joins us on a Monday for our Mayor's Council of Guam update. Good morning, Mayor Allig.
Off a day. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Yes, very eventful weekend with all the news. I'm sure you heard the rumors about what could be potentially a gubernatorial team.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you to KOAM. You're going to make Mike St. Nicholas win with all the free publicity.
Yeah, this is. I swear, I'm like gonna have to send him a bill of $5 every time we say the name.
So who is it again?
Yeah, no, it's somebody and Amanda Shelton is what I heard.
That's a good one.
Little bird.
No, shoot. I think he has a great chance with everyone reporting on it. Anyway, well, hey, I wish they'd report on us, all the good stuff, so we don't have to pay to campaign.
Well, there you go. Well, we got an opportunity to tell the people of Guam about some good stuff that you guys are doing at the Mayor's Council.
You know what? I don't really have any good stuff, but we have some concerning stuff.
Oh.
So one of the things that we've been having around the villages are the neighborhood watch program meetings with GPD, and of course the governor and lieutenant governor. And of course, people will think, well, it's Christmas, it's election season, so of course the governor and lieutenant governor are going to be out there, But for me at this point, it's like, heck, I would rather have them out there so that they do know the real deal in the villages. And it's such a big deal for most of us because we all have neighborhood watch programs. Most of us have chat groups, and the young kids, they don't say chat group, they say group chat.
Group chat, yep, GC.
Right. So if you're old, you say chat group, but if you're young, you say group chat. I just caught myself. Anyway, so seriously, most of us have those group chats on WhatsApp, and but it doesn't get to everyone. And we're seeing, more, you report on it all the time, more people walking around the streets, more things going on within the neighborhoods. The quiet, sleepy neighborhoods are a little more, there's just more stuff going on in those communities. And so these watch groups are so important because GPD can't do it all and the government can't do it all. And so we really do need each other. And I mention it because if you hear about the neighborhood watch program meeting in your village, please attend them, because we don't have all the answers as mayors, and GPD certainly, they're trying to do what they can within their means. And then of course, in one of the papers this morning, you hear that they're talking about bringing back the retirees, and we've heard that before. And is that a good? And you've covered it a little on your show. Yeah. Is it a good thing? For me, anything that's going to help the communities is a good thing. If it's not going to take away from our resources and it's not going to take away from our funding sources and be a detriment to either, then it's a good thing. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what develops from these village.
I want to say, Mayor, that this is kind of an idea that I feel was born out of the link and containing COVID, because as we've covered a lot of these cold cases, whether it's through the Crimes Without Convictions podcast with Sabrina Salas-Matanani, or just routine reporting on open murder cases, right? So we had the chief coming on here a bunch of times, and one of the things that he had talked about, and then even us, and some conversations I had with former chiefs of police, from former Chief Paul Suba to former Chief Marquez, right?
Well,
even former Chief Jay, they talk about the institutional, the institutional knowledge that they have.
So are you still talking about Mike St. Nicholas?
No, we're talking about.
Just kidding. I just have to throw that in. You're a little too serious today.
Yeah.
I took a little more medication this morning.
No, but these chiefs have always talked about how there are so many detectives who have the institutional knowledge, who have the knowledge of these cases, and so the conversation was always, how do we get them involved? But it was more of from a point of getting them involved and getting them to look at some of these cold cases, not necessarily come in and ride a desk or whatever, so we can get the young guns out there patrolling the streets.
Certainly, and that's that for us. we're always more comfortable with having experience out there because that it matters a whole lot more. The young ones, we're grateful for them, but there's always this on the job training, right? That portion of life, and hopefully it works out because it's just gonna the issues are just gonna get a little worse. That kind of ties into the second thing that I wanted to talk about. I know other people have talked about trespassing on private property, and what we're seeing now, and it's not really only in PT and in the southern villages, but those of us that have mango trees, it's mango season. And one of the things that I think one of your viewers commented that Guam is good, and I'm so happy to hear that people still believe that Guam is good because Guam is good. What I think we're finding out every year through mango season and when the bananas are out is that our friends on the island are lacking a little respect. And private property is private property. If the tree is on the road or in a public park, then hey, it might be free for all. But if it's on private property, there's something called respect, and we really just want to share with everyone. Unfortunately, the people that need to get the message don't listen to the radio or have Facebook, right? It's kind of that issue. So how
Mayor,
do we get this out?
You're basically saying that with mango season coming back, are you trying to say that of some cases where people are stealing other people's mangoes or
yes,
bananas?
Sure. Yes. And the thing is, what these homeowners or the tree owners, they're not sata. They don't want to be, they want to share their fruit, but you're still entering private property. So, just have some respect and ask, right? Knock on the door, call, ask the owner if it's all right to pick a few mango and go on your merry way. The other issue that we're seeing, and it's just a part of, I guess, what we're experiencing is droves of people, and I say it that way because I've witnessed it myself, where they surround a huge tree with what is it? They call the tree is mepa when it has a lot of fruit, and they just it's not for personal consumption, right? And so if you're on private property and you're not picking for personal consumption, there's a little issue there. And again, that's kind of a lack of respect. Yeah. So, and it's not just one group of one race; it's all of us. And so, like the viewer said, Guam is good, and we want to keep Guam good. And we're hoping that we can share the message of respect, really, for not only private property but for others. So that is a big deal because mangoes are propping up a whole lot more. We're seeing this year from the south all the way through the north, and we're just gonna get. It's just gonna be a bigger problem. Yeah. And so when you ask about the mayors, of course we deal with it because they're gonna call the mayor and say, "Mayor, take fancy so and so, picking all the mango," and we're like, "What? That's your property."
And so what happens, guys? In case you're wondering, maybe you're new here or whatever, is that people they'll pick these mangoes and then they sell them to whatever mom and pop store or whatever business makes. Like pickle mango, for example, is a huge money maker right this time of year. And so that's what's happening is people are stealing, whether it's to support a drug habit or put food on the table, I don't know. But even with bananas, Mayor, I have some friends who, you're watching that one bunch of the bananas and it's like almost there and you're just waiting. No, one more day, 2 more days, and you go out and it's somebody got it before you.
Yeah, that's the thing, and we see it. And for us in PD, I see it where they took the mango because the ramas is almost ready to what is it called, honga. So they, then all of a sudden they call somebody stole the banana. But yeah, that's I laugh about it, but it's the truth. I mean, it's just really a lack of respect. And hopefully we could share that message with our friends out there because, like I said, those people that are doing it, I don't think are listening to the radio, or have the means to get that message.
Right.
So yeah, those are the two things. Actually, the third thing, and I think I heard you talking a little bit about it, but the radio was just on. But GVB, that whole issue with GVB and their board. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I do believe that destination management is important, and I say that because it benefits the mayor's council, and uh, so Governor Gutierrez is whatever he's doing or whatever is going on within the board. I'm at least a little more. Uh, I feel encouraged that at least we're fighting for more money to kind of stay on Guam to prepare our destination for the tourists. Of course, we all want the tourists to come back, and most of us want them to come back today because we need the economy to continue to run. But preparing our destination is so important because, growing up, you always had to clean the house before the guests came. And even if it was already clean, you still had to clean the house, or if you were going to lend your car, you had to clean your car, even if it was clean. So, that's just really our culture, our personality. And I'm glad that both Governor Carl and Governor Liu are working on destination management. I think I'm campaigning.
I don't know who you're campaigning for, though. It sounds like you're campaigning for everyone.
I'm campaigning for everyone today.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So, Mayor,
I understand. Go ahead.
At the village level, so how are you guys involved with GVB and this destination management?
Well, most of us get some help depending on what you need. If there's, well, first of all, GVB takes a lot of our major routes, like Route 1, I believe it's Route 2, all the routes where the tourists would traditionally travel to get to sites. So that's one. Two, they provide, if a village needs certain supplies, beautification supplies, they make a request to the GVB, and if it's available, they certainly get that help. But of course, we're hoping for more resources to come to us. And a week or two ago, perhaps, we talked about the VSOs and how they can come out to the villages. Well, that's another aspect, right? The village visitor safety. And so if we can improve upon that program out in the villages so that our visitors are, touring the island and feeling comfortable and safe, then, that's certainly going to promote us as a destination, an ideal destination. And so whatever the politics is within the GVB board, it exists perhaps, and for whatever reason it may continue to exist. But I do appreciate what the management is doing for us as villages and listening to us. So are we getting more money? We're always pushing for more money. We're always asking, can GVB help us with certain things? And of course, it's kind of, well, Inalahan is one, right? So Inalahan got well, that was $95,000 for something to help down in the South. And some people agree with it, some people don't. But whatever it is, it's still supported by GVB. So those types of initiatives are important for us because it helps us to prepare our destination for our tourists. So I just wanted to touch on that,
right?
Because I know it's been big, and there are different views, differing views for sure. About how the former governor is handling it and how the board reacted to that, so on and so forth. But for us on the Mayor's Council, if we're a part or beneficiary of the good stuff, then we're I was almost going to camping. We're good. We're good to go.
Mayor, so and we were talking about Inalahan, I saw that there was something I saw where GVB gave Inalahan like a digital sign or something.
Yeah, 95,000.
Oh yeah. So are those? I wasn't sure, but I thought there was some kind of bill passed about digital signs and the regulation. Is that? I mean, that's okay.
Tungo malagnan fais ni meho din Inalahan pat si Carl Gutierrez at Guizamas tumungo.
Okay, we'll call.
Actually, you should call. Aren't you friends with Governor Carl? You should call him. Did you have him?
Mayor, are all the villages though going to be getting these digital signs?
I can't hear you. Oh, see, somebody stopped it. Mike stopped the audio.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. How about now?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay, so I mean, do you know if all the villages are going to be getting these signs?
No, I don't. I don't think all the villages are going to get the signs. I think it was an ask from the mayor to GVB for the south end. I don't. I anticipate that it's something that's gonna be popping up in all the villages. But what I do anticipate is, because I know we continue to have a relationship with them, is that GVB will certainly be a part of our plans, our mayor's council plans.
Right.
And gosh, the first thing is liberation. I mean, the governor was Governor Liu was supportive of plans to have a liberation parade, and the GVB is certainly a key player in our festivities this year. So that's an example about how we're preparing our destination and investing in that, so that there's something for our tourists to come to. So I just
Wow,
wanted to throw
Mayor,
that.
I feel like I'm in
And I
a
wasn't
baseball
camping.
game because you're just going to bat for everybody this morning.
I know. That means I get to win all the time.
I want to ask you about this though, Mayor, because we interviewed Wednesday the acting GDOE superintendent Erica Cruz, and it was kind of relative to
Okay.
the grass cutting at the schools. And so, what we had heard was
Right.
so the mayors are stepping in to fill in the gaps of what the vendor may or may not be doing at the school sites. And from just kind of judging from what Erica said, it sounded like the principals at some different schools had concerns about whether or not they were getting what they pay for when it comes to cutting the grass for our kids. So I just wanted to get it from you, like what is the involvement with the mayors in cutting the grass, and when you guys cut the grass, are you cutting grass that the vendor should be cutting, and just what's the situation?
So I don't know about their specific contract this year and whether any of that was amended in the law, but the initial law when we were cutting the grass was an injustice, because let me give you an example. To cut Jose Rios Middle School was $300 a month. And so imagine Jose Rios Middle School, whether you think it's a big school or not, the area is large to cut, and $300 a month was just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we had to follow that. And so of course our staff, our mayor's office staff, had to come in and pick up the slack, and we continue to do that now. And so I'll use it as an example because I mean, it's in my village. But Jose Rios Middle School has this large grass area in front of the school,
Right.
in front of across Veteran Cemetery. So the vendor only cuts within the fence, doesn't cut outside. But see, that whole area is in front of the school. The school buses are there, parents park there, but heck, it could grow as tall as the school because the vendor won't cut it. So of course the mayor has to do it, and we continue to do it. So what's the contract? We don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, Mayor Suarez might know, but I don't believe it's changed too much. And I mentioned Mayor Suarez because she's our rep on the GDOE board. So, but I don't think it's changed much. I think it really is the same. And that just needs to get fixed, because the school property extends to the road.
Right.
It's not just within the chain link fence. And just like Jose Rios Middle School, there's grass areas outside of the perimeter that the students walk on, but if the grass is long, they're just gonna leave it because it's not part of their contract.
Yeah.
So yeah, the mayor's offices picked that up. For
I mean,
sure.
and so what's the protocol though? When you just is it you just see that it hasn't been cut, so you're like you tell the boys, hey, go cut that, or does the school end up putting in a request? And is there any conversation as to like, hey, what's up with the vendor?
So, well, with Jose Rios Middle School, we don't have communication with the school regarding grass cutting. It's just on a regular schedule.
I see.
But we just don't make it an issue. For the other schools, I can see where the other larger villages have issues because they have more than one school in their village, and the principal or whomever from the school might make a request to the mayor. So that's possible. And I'm sure the one thing that I do know is that the mayors do have a relationship with the schools in their villages, and for the most part, I believe that they're good relationships, and so I don't ever think that a mayor wants to not assist a school. I think it just becomes an issue when when we're fixing all these other problems, but
Yeah.
yet we're not addressing this one need. So
Well, I mean, it's also an issue when you know somebody's being paid to cut the grass, and instead of them being cutting the grass, you guys are. But then it's also this thing. This is like a plot twist because when I had the acting superintendent on, obviously they said they were looking at the contract and the specifics of it. But she did say that some principals were unhappy with the services. But then come to find out that the vendor is actually owed $70,000. This is a story that was reported on Friday. So, not sure what the heck's going on here. Whether I mean, because it's kind of hard to call out the vendor for not doing their job if you're not paying them for doing the job that you want them to do.
right. Well, when we were taking care of it, I was the treasurer, so I was paying them. So I do know that for the most part, when it came to paying the vendor, we did not have an issue paying the vendor. The issue may have been, some document issue, perhaps processing from the vendor to the mayor's office, but paying them out, we never had an issue. The issue we had really was the law and allowing or permitting the vendor to cut a certain area. So it might be twofold. It might be that the law only gives that school a certain amount of money to cut, per month, and then it also could be a payment issue. I couldn't tell you, but if that's what the vendor is saying, perhaps there's some truth to that.
I just wish that we would have days where something as simple as cutting the grass for our kids is not such a complicated conversation.
Oh boy. Well,
But hey, I think there's an insert a saying here, guys, all together now. It is what it is. Mayor, thank you.
Ticino and Dagi da.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, adios.
Esta. Right on. There we go. Mayor Jesse Alec. Remember, according to the mayor last week, we had him on Liberation Day Parade. It is a go. All right, start working on you guys' floats. 7:59. We are KUAM FM and Agotni, Guam, right here on the link. Brought to you by Cabo Enterprises, IT&E, and Jack in the Box.